Hello and welcome to this webinar on the strategic impact of artificial intelligence on legal practice and law firms, the economics, risk and opportunities. I'm Anjum Merchant, founder of Lawtificial Integrity. We provide AI literacy and AI governance solutions to legal, risk and compliance professionals globally. Let's discuss how AI is reshaping law firm economics. I'll begin with a simple observation. For decades, the economic model of most law firms has been remarkably stable. The equation is straightforward. More associates, more billable hours, more revenue. If a firm wanted to grow, it hired more lawyers, increased utilization, and handled more matters. The economics of the profession have long been tied to time spent by legal professionals. But history shows that stable professional models can shift quickly when technology changes expectations. Consider the accounting profession. For years, core work like bookkeeping and reconciliations was labor-intensive and billed hourly. Then, platforms like QuickBooks and TaxCalc automated much of that work. Tasks that once required teams and hours suddenly took a fraction. The firms that adapted moved up the value chain into advisory work. Those that didn't found themselves competing with faster tech-enabled alternatives. And many professionals in that industry believed the shift would never affect them until clients began expecting those efficiencies as standard. So the question is, could the same thing happen in law? To answer that, let's look at the three structural shifts introduced by artificial intelligence. First, time compression. Research, document analysis, and first pass drafting that once took hours can now be completed in minutes. Second, knowledge amplification. Lawyers today can access expert analytical capabilities that previously required years of experience to build. And third, cost restructuring. If the same legal outcome can be delivered with fewer hours of legal work, the economics of legal advice inevitably change, and clients expect those efficiencies to be reflected in pricing and turnaround times. Now, the important point here is AI does not replace your legal judgment. What AI does to you, though, is compress the time you take, or rather should take, to reach that accurate judgment. Understanding AI in the context of law firms, LLMs and the law. Artificial intelligence is often discussed as if it were a single technology. In reality, it is a broad field that includes many different technologies working together. In simple terms, AI refers to computer systems that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as recognizing patterns, analyzing complex information, and generating language. The form of AI having the greatest impact on the legal profession is known as a large language model, or LLM. LLMs are deep learning systems trained on vast amounts of text. Through that training, they learn the pattern, structure, and relationships within human language. This allows LLMs to analyze, summarize, and generate complex written material at remarkable speed and scale. Many of the tools legal professionals are experimenting with today are built on this underlying technology, including ChatGPT, Claude AI, Microsoft Copilot, and Grok. Because law is fundamentally a language-driven discipline, these systems are particularly suited to legal work, such as reviewing contracts, case law, synthesizing legal information, and drafting structured analysis. LLMs are therefore not simply search engines. They are language reasoning systems, which is why they are beginning to reshape how legal professionals work. Let's examine why the legal profession is particularly exposed to AI. Let's talk about why AI is so well suited to the field of law. There are three key reasons. First, legal work is language dense. contracts, statutes, judgments, and regulatory guidance are all expressed in complex, highly structured language. AI excels in environments where text and language carry the core meaning, which is exactly what laws are built on. Second, legal reasoning is pattern-driven. We spend a lot of time recognizing patterns across cases, clauses, or regulatory frameworks. LLMs are trained precisely to identify these patterns at scale. They can spot similarities, anomalies, or recurring themes faster than any of us can, either alone or in a team. Third, law is document heavy. Even a single transaction can involve hundreds or thousands of contracts, emails, and filings. Sifting through all of that without AI takes enormous time. AI can rapidly process large volumes of documents, highlight key points, and summarize content, giving you a high-quality starting point. Put together, these three factors, language, patterns, and document volume, mean that AI doesn't just automate your trivial tasks, it augments your core legal reasoning, what we're paid big money for. Although AI is not replacing us, it is industrializing legal cognition, which so far has been the forte of people. It's taken the heavy lifting of repetitive pattern-based work, making it imperative for you and I to focus exclusively on judgment, strategy, and client advice. And that's a key reason why law firms that adopt AI now will gain a structural advantage. Firms that wait risk falling behind in efficiency and market share. Let's look at how leading law firms are actually using AI today and taking market share from competitor firms. This is where we move from theory to real-world application. Let's take Allen & Overy, for example. They've deployed Harvey AI across thousands of associate desks. The platform is trained on legal documents and structured to assist with tasks like contract drafting, litigation preparation, regulatory analysis. In appearance, it is a chatbot with the ability to integrate with firm workflows, allowing associates to generate drafts, identify key clauses, and spot risks in a matter of seconds. Then we have Grok and Copilot. These can analyze uploaded documents, integrate into existing case management or knowledge systems. Legal professionals can query the documents uploaded to these LLMs or systems using natural language prompts and receive structured, summarized insights without having to comb through every document manually. The takeaway here is that AI adoption in law is no longer experimental. Firms are embedding it into their daily workflows, treating it as infrastructure. These tools are multiplying law firm productivity while still relying on expert human judgment for final conclusions, augmenting a lawyer's expertise rather than replacing it. Let's look at the actual efficiencies that AI delivers, both for the law firm and for clients. Starting with workflow acceleration at the top of the slide. AI dramatically accelerates the first pass, the initial research, drafting, and document analysis that traditionally consume the bulk of our time. And these are tasks that do not require final judgment or nuanced strategy. To illustrate, let's look at 3 AI use cases that bring workflow acceleration to life. First, case law analysis. Traditionally, reviewing a judgment and extracting the key legal principles takes about an hour per case. With AI, you can generate key takeaways, highlighting the facts, legal issues, and court reasoning in a fraction. You can also ask the LLM to respond as a peer or an opposing counsel to strengthen your own arguments, identify and address weaknesses, and potential counterpoints before refining your own strategy and advice. Second, M&A due diligence. Reviewing large volumes of transaction documents takes days, particularly when identifying key clauses across multiple agreements. With AI, we're able to rapidly scan and analyze large document sets, extract critical provisions such as change of control clauses, termination rights, indemnities, and unusual risk allocations. Third, conveyancing. With AI, you can rapidly analyze title documents, leases, extracting key details such as restrictive covenants, easements, rights of way. As you see on the slide, workflow acceleration leads to more room for high-value tasks. The value to you comes from removing repetitive, time-consuming steps, allowing you to allocate more time to high-value tasks, strategy, negotiation, and complex judgment calls. As you see further on the low right hand of the slide, be careful and know that your clients are aware of these tangible benefits. They know that AI can accelerate your work, compress your teams, and make pricing more predictable. And they anticipate that you, as their law firm, will pass on these benefits back to them in tangible form. While artificial intelligence brings impressive efficiencies, lawyers need to be clear about the risks, the issues that make us legal professionals cautious. First, hallucinated authorities. AI systems, especially LLMs, can generate references that sound plausible but do not actually exist. There have been cases where fabricated case citations made their way into court filings. If unchecked, this will expose any firm and you to serious reputational liability and regulatory risk. Second, misinterpretation of legal texts. AI does not truly understand provisions of law. It predicts patterns in language. This can lead to misreading judicial reasoning, overlooking case facts, overgeneralizing principles across cases. Even sophisticated models are prone to these errors. Small misreadings can have significant consequences, which is why careful human oversight remains essential. Third, confidentiality and data security risks. Uploading sensitive client information into unsecured systems can result in data breaches or unauthorized exposure of client data and sensitive case information. So, how should you, as a lawyer, manage risk without verifying every line of AI output? Now, here's the practical part. You do not have to check every line of AI output to use it safely and efficiently. The trick is to treat AI like a capable associate, not a final decision maker. You remain the final decision maker on your matter. Here are 3 steps I'd recommend so you can carefully leverage AI. First, structure task queues. Be specific about your requirements in each conversation with the AI. As you use AI on documents, extracting clauses, generating outlines, or producing first pass drafts, be specific about the output you require. Tell it about the structured professional approach you'd follow and ask it to build on the detailed foundation that you have set. Then query the methodology it is adopting. Continue to steer it based on your professional expertise. Second, verify sources and spot check sentences. Always require that the AI provide citations, statutory references, or links to authorities. You then verify the sources, query the LLM to explain its approach and analysis, and conduct spot checks on the output for accuracy in content and interpretation. Trick is, use the exact query parameters or method of communication you'd apply to your intelligent associate. Third, controlled AI environments. Most law firms are deploying enterprise AI systems where data stays inside firm infrastructure, outputs are logged, and information security policies are applied. Now, this drastically reduces both confidentiality and information security risks. The key takeaway is to therefore make sure you have specific use cases, set clear expectations, verify sources, and use controlled environments. Up to this point, we've talked about AI in terms of technology, workflows, and risk management. But the most important question for law firms is a strategic one. AI is creating a competitive divide between firms. On the one side are AI-augmented firms, firms that are embedding AI tools into everyday workflows. These firms are able to complete research, review documents more efficiently, and produce first-pass analysis much faster than traditional methods. On the other side are firms that continue to rely on traditional workflows. Now, the difference between these two approaches is not always visible to your client. What clients do notice, however, is speed, responsiveness, and cost. If one firm can analyze a transaction faster, provide accurate advice, and deploy its staff more efficiently, that firm inevitably builds a commercial advantage. Think about two firms competing for the same mandate. Both have strong reputations, experienced partners, and high quality legal expertise. But one firm is able to deliver the same legal outcome 30 or 40% faster because its teams are using AI to accelerate research, drafting, and document analysis. The AI augmented firm can handle more matters, respond to clients more quickly, and potentially price work more competitively, while still protecting its margins. And that's why AI can actually increase a firm's ability to gain market share. I'll now focus on one of the most important capabilities for you over the next decade: AI literacy. AI literacy does not mean you need to learn to code or learn AI engineering. What it does mean, though, that you absolutely need to develop a practical understanding of how these systems work, where they are powerful, where they can fail, and how you can use them responsibly and effectively within your practice. There are three elements on how you should approach AI literacy. First, you need to grasp what AI can and cannot do. These systems are extremely powerful at analyzing and generating language, but they require human judgment, particularly when it comes to complex interpretation, accuracy, and professional responsibility. Second, you need to learn how to structure prompts effectively. Prompt engineering is an extension of something we already do well: framing questions clearly and precisely. The way a question is asked will determine the quality of the answer. Third, you need to know how to verify the accuracy of AI outputs. You simply cannot relax on verifying the underlying authorities or sources that support the analysis. You don't need to review every line of AI-generated text, but you need to have a system in place to cross-check and verify AI interpretations. Bear in mind, you'll never be able to off-shoulder your professional liability or responsibility to any system. Our professional obligations do not reduce in any way and continue to rest with us. There is also another reality we should openly acknowledge. I want you to have a proper read of these observations from leading law firms. AI is changing the economics of legal employment. What do I mean by that? As AI allows the same legal outcome to be delivered faster with smaller teams, the demand for certain types of legal work has shrunk. That means that the legal professionals who will remain useful in the new world are those who have learned how to work with these systems effectively. Those who do not will be outpaced and entirely replaced by professionals who have augmented their own capabilities and produce high-quality output in lesser time by leveraging AI. AI is changing legal practice. The question for us is, how quickly are we able to adapt to that change? So, AI will not directly replace you, but your peers who do invest and learn how to use AI effectively absolutely will. Please comment, share, like, and subscribe. Reach out to us at hello@lawtificialintegrity.ai for AI literacy and AI governance training. I'd love to hear from you on any questions you may have. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.